Talk to sisters. It is time for us to use our power. Please do not beg folks for power. Nobody is going to give it to you. You were born with power. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother. Check 1, 2, 1, 2. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother. Talk to me, sister. It is time for us to use our power. Please do not beg folks for power. Nobody is going to give it to you. You were born with power.
Some very sad news for all of you, and people who love peace all over the world. Martin Luther King was shot and was killed tonight in Memphis.
I will never say that progress is being made. If you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and pull it out 6 inches, there's no progress. You pull it all the way out, that's not progress. The progress is healing the wound that's below me.
I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother. Talk to me, sister.
But the hard truth is that not everyone is sharing in this city's splendor and glory. There are more poor than ever, more families in trouble, more and more people who need help but can't find it.
A struggle against the common enemies of man, tyranny, poverty, disease, and war itself.
We believe that all men are created equal, yet many are denied equal treatment.
And so we say to all in this nation who would dare listen to us, black, white, Jew, Gentile, Asian, Latino, that we are brothers and sisters in a long and difficult struggle.
I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother.
We have a government, sir, that needs to be opened up before the American people.
Say what?
We have a government, sir, that needs to be opened up before the American people.
What you say?
We have a government, sir, that needs to be opened up before the American people.
Can you say it one more time?
We have a government, sir, that needs to be opened up before the American people. We have a government, sir, that needs to be opened up before the American people.
Wow. Is that what he said? The American people need to open up their government. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Prince Carter Show. What is going on in St. Louis politics today? What is going on with this mayor's race? And what has this mayor done that has gotten so many people that mad at the mayor? What has the mayor done wrong? What has this mayor done so horrible to black folks is what I want to know. Can anybody explain that to me this morning? We're trying to figure out what has the mayor done so horrible to black folks. We need to answer that question this morning. I would like to know the answer. 314-536-1458. If anybody has the answers. What is going on in St. Louis politics? I tell you what's going on, people. I tell you what's going on. White folks finna take it all back over. They're going after the mayor. They're going after Darlene Green. And is this going to work in the interest of North St. Louis, is this going to work in the interest of black folks? Those are some of the things that we need to be looking at, folks. We need to really and truly figure out what's going on with St. Louis politics and what direction are we headed in, and who is it going to benefit. Those are some of the things I would like to touch on this morning. I am deeply saddened over a number of things that I'm seeing going sideways politically, but is it time for black folks to just sit down and say nothing and do nothing, or is it time for us to rise up and fight for what is in the interest of us as a people and as a community? I think those are some of the tough questions that we need to be resonating on this morning. I did reach out to, and I've been reaching out to Kara Spencer. She was supposed to have been coming on the podcast, but for whatever reason, she has not been able to find time to do that, because I really wanted to talk to her. And she said she was going to talk to us, but she's not willing to talk. I think there's a number of reasons why, but the jury's still out on that one. But what has the mayor done to black folks that's got her so divisive to the black community? What has the mayor done that's gotten folks walking away from her? It just seems like they just jumping off the team left and right. I don't know what's going on with this politics. It ain't looking too good for small, poor black folks as a whole from where I'm sitting. And I tell you this, if Kara Spencer is going to be the next mayor, which is what it's looking like, what has she done, or what has she promised to black folks? What is she going to do for North St. Louis? Those are some of the things that we need to be asking. I wanted to ask her, but she won't come on and talk to me, so I guess that's just that's the picture of the days to come. I mean, occasionally she will respond to a text. You know what? I'm just going to take a quick break here. I'm going to call and see if she will even answer the phone. Let's see that.
I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister. It is time for us to use our power. Please do not beg folks for power. Nobody is going to give it to you. You were born with power.
Some very sad news for all of you and people who love peace all over the world. Martin Luther King was shot and was killed tonight in Memphis.
I will never say that progress is being made. The progress is healing the wound that's below me.
I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Struggle.
We have a government, sir, that needs to be opened up before the American people.
All right, that's what they say. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm back now.
Flourishing city, a city that takes its population loss and turns it into growth. I have ambitions that St. Louis can be on the path for growth. You know, we've been losing population for decades now, but that population loss is falling off a cliff right now. We're losing people faster than you can count them. And I think it's important that we turn that around. But at the crux of it, really, you know, I feel like the city, you know, our job is to make the city work. And, you know, we can't think big. We can't do bigger things until the city gets the basics right. You know, and I'm talking about very simple things like potholes and streets and trash pickup and that sort of thing. You know, if we're not doing those basic things, anyone who spends any time in North St. Louis, that there is just absolute devastation. You're absolutely right to use that word. And you know, as far as the plan is concerned, here's my plan. We're going to fix the basic systems of government, and I'm talking about how we do all those things I talked about, pothole, junk, all that stuff. And the plan for North St. Louis has to be driven by and including the people who live there. Mm-hmm. It just has to be. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And so do I have a plan? My plan looks like being driven by those people, the people, you, and the folks that continue to live there and know best. And, you know that, I hope. I hope, you know, I will sit down with folks. I will listen. Will offer what I know to be the case so far. And as we move through this, hopefully together, you know, we'll be doing that regularly.
Mm-hmm. Now, some of the concerns that people are having as relates to you and your candidacy, and that is your affiliation with folks with big pocketbooks.
Yeah, well, you know, this is somewhat new to me. And you know, I mean, I think, you know, when you look at my campaigns over many years, with the exception of running for mayor last time, I've never really had to do the traditional call time. I have a lot of community support, a lot of small dollar donors, a lot of people that I've helped and worked with over many, many years who are supportive of my campaign. And those are the contributions I would say I'm most grateful for. But most recently, the one that's been in the news so much has been the Bob Clark contribution and what he was able to pull together as far as a network of folks that are very frustrated with the direction of the city. I mean, I think anybody who's tried to deal with this, with the city recently, yourself probably, very frustrated and is almost willing to support raising money, donating to Barack Obama, and doing the same for Kamala Harris. He is a huge supporter. So I'm in a long line of, you know, Barack, Kamala, and other Democrats who have gotten a lot of generous support from Bob Clark, and that's a prestigious list. I don't mean to include myself amongst those very, you know, tremendous leaders, but I will just say, as far as being the recipient of a large amount of financial support, that's not a bad list to be in. And if Bob Clark is supporting people like that with his deep pockets, I am proud to be on the others among them.
Okay. All right. Fast forwarding to the ARPA funds, which is one of the big problems that I've had with this administration and St. Louis Development Corporation and the whole way that this process is. That was in March of 21, was it not, or April of 21?
That's I believe that it was around that time. The exact date I don't have in front of me, but you're exactly right. And that was during COVID. Mm-hmm. So those funds were granted to SLDC by way of the CDA, Community Development Agency, to support small businesses during COVID.
Were those funds supposed to be emergency funds? Were they not emergency funds, as in getting them out expeditiously?
Correct.
Okay.
That's exactly right. So that obviously didn't happen. So fast forward 4 years, and here we are, and the majority of those funds have still not been distributed. So I'm on the board. Let me explain how this kind of worked out. I'm on the board of SLDC going, when are we going to give out these ARPA monies? And, you know, last summer, they called a special meeting in the middle of the week at a time that we normally don't have meetings, and they called for us to consider the first list of awardees. Well, can you imagine getting a list of, like, I don't remember, but it was several hundred, and okay it and approve it? Administrative fees to administer the funds. Where are those $7 million? What did you use them for? How on earth did you spend $7 million and not do this right? You know, what is going on here? And my point is, I was not given the chairmanship of budget when I was first elected to this new district. So probably June of 2020, 3, and I served until, I believe I resigned in November 2024.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we did not start to consider these awards until last summer, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I, you know, really recognized.
So when did you actually resign from the board?
I think it was November of last year. I'd have to double check.
Okay, so you were there then when they had the first draft that they put. Anything wrong with the way that they did that?
Of course I did. I voiced a lot of concerns. You know, I'd have to look back.
Just right quickly.
Well, that's up to you. It's your show, not mine.
All right. She should be coming in here in a second. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about, Kara, that's this whole thing about downtown St. Louis. Okay, Tamika, she's on the air. Stand by, Tamika. Well, before we go to downtown St. Louis, we're talking about the ARPA funds, and I think Tamika had a question as relates to
in the arena. When we looked at how they were distributed so poorly, and there's some real questionable things that have gone on, in my view, we've got to vet that. We're going to have to lean into what can we do, how quickly can we do it. You know, I am, and I've shared my concerns that the federal government may be clawing those back or clawing some of them back because, you know, just the questions around them. So that's going to be a top priority when I get in there to get that worked out immediately. But I just don't need, while running for office, to fully vet that. But it is going to be a priority because it's an emergency. And number two, there's a timeline on that. So we are developing a plan as we go. What you asked me if I have a plan, and what I was telling Prince before you got on was that, you know, the plan needs to be driven by the folks who live and work there. And it needs to be inclusive of the folks that are really most intimately aware of and working there, you know, in North St. Louis. So I don't have the full plan.
I'm glad you said that, Kara. I'm glad you said that because we have many small business owners, residents of North City that are willing, ready, able, knowledgeable to help you implement a plan for North City. You just have to say the word. Do you want the community's input? Do you want our help? Because we have been here in the trenches ready to sit down and help you. Because we got thoughts, we got ideas, we have things that we know can work. So if you want to sit down with our coalition, we're ready.
Well, my son's here with his friends. They had a sleepover last night. They're awake, so I'm going to have to hop off, but I'm happy to come on.
Yes, got to get to the baby.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Kara, before you run,
Happy birthday to the baby.
Happy birthday. Kara, before you run, one last quick question. As it relates to downtown St. Louis, one of the biggest concerns that I have is that we're talking about doing a lot of investment in the downtown St. Louis. We got three major issues that plague downtown St. Louis. We have homelessness, we have mental illness, and all right, we'll be in touch. Kara Spencer, candidate for mayor, she was on this morning, and I mean, what are we going to do as a people, as a community, about this upcoming election? Which direction do we need to go in? What's going to work in the interest of the masses of our people and our community? And those are some of the things that we want to talk about. Hey, listen, with that being said, I'm going to take a quick pause of the calls and come back and wrap this up. This is the Prince Carter Show.
Hearing revolution in the air. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister.
It is time for us to use our power. Please do not beg folks for power. Nobody is going to give it to you. You were born with power. To you. You were born with power.
very sad news for all of you and people who love peace.
Talk to me, sister. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother. Talk to me, sister.
It is time for us to use our power. Please do not beg folks for power. Nobody is going to give it to you. You were born with power.
Some very sad news for all of you and people who love peace all over the world. Martin Luther King was shot and was killed tonight in Memphis.
I will never say that progress is being made. If you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and pull it out 6 inches, there's no progress. You pull it all the way out, that's not progress. The progress is healing the wound that's below me.
I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother. Talk to me, sister. Brother. Talk to me, sister.
We have a government, sir, that needs to be opened up before the American people. White folk rule us with fear. It is not white people, it's your fear.
Good morning, sister.
That you gotta be free.
How are you?
All right, Sister Karen, good morning. How are you?
I'm great.
All right, I got Brother Chris on the phone here with us as well. Are you there, Chris?
Yes, I am.
All right. First and foremost, Karen Greer, would you introduce yourself as well as your president of NENA?
Hello, everyone. My name is Karen Greer. I'm the vice president of NENA for the Northside Business Owners and Nonprofits.
Okay. And NENA stands for Northside Independent Neighborhood Association?
Yeah, that is correct.
Okay. And on the phone with us also is Chris. Would you introduce yourself, please?
All right. I am Christopher Gladney. I am the president of NENA, or the Northside Independent Neighborhood Association.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I asked you
about the fact that we have a city, St. Louis, that is, incredibly impoverished, especially here on the north side.
Yes.
And also, too, we wanted NENA, and let me just read a couple of the purposes to give people a better idea. So one of the purposes of NENA is to improve the current quality of life here on the north side of St. Louis, which is really going to foster a sense of community and also advocating for, the neighborhood's interest to become self-determining, self-reliant, and self-sustaining. And I think that's so incredibly important because, we look at a city at the north side, it's so powerless. And we want to be able to bring power, to particularly the Black community here on the north side. And then also, too, the purpose of the association will be basically to promote and protect the welfare, health, and safety of the members of the neighborhood, through collective action, through collective communication and collaboration. And most important part is even. And I totally agree.
Sister Karen, you have been a business owner in the community, and you have been entitled with the role of vice president. Why do you want to see NENA grow and be available for those that want to be a part of something that brings about overdue and needed change for our people in our community?
Well, because I am a descendant of the benign neglect that Team 4 put in place for the north side O'Fallon neighborhood and other surrounding communities. I came back not knowing that bit of history just because I was God-led. It led me back to the community that I grew up in, I was raised in, my parents lived at 2106 Adelaide, which is now, it was a four-family duplex that was beautiful, that was tore down, or it caught on fire, and I heard through the history that it was tore down. But at the end of the day, I came back to a community where I wanted to invest in, that I saw my vision. My vision, I was a real estate agent at the time, and I went back to a community that are next to us, the gas stations, the bad food restaurants. We're in a food desert. So me, like the Uhuru and Mr. Christopher, who has the bakery that we fought for to make sure we got in the community, I came back as a black business owner. And so for me to fast forward to this opportunity to be in NENA as a VP, I feel like I'm a catalyst along with the Uhuru and Mr. Christopher. And Prince, you was right there next to me. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Selling
15
your
years ago.
when I first moved.
15 years ago.
That's when I first met you.
Right.
Yeah, so I came back just like you was in the community. I knew nothing about it. But you know what I'm saying? It comes full circle as in this fight that we have to build the North Side and fight and win when it comes to the economic development. So I felt that it was my priority and duty to come back and contribute to NENA as a VP or whatever aspect. And this is to reach out to other people. You don't have to have a title to give back and make an improvement in your community. Show up, show out, because your investment, if you have
NENA in getting to the next level.
Well, NENA is open to everyone.
Wait, hold on. I want to be clear on this. I heard you say that the Northside Independent Neighborhood Association is open to who?
Everyone.
Okay, that means anyone within the community that wants to be a part of this can get involved.
Yes.
We all have input.
It's unlike any other. Yeah, it's unlike any other neighborhood association because, again, we want to break out of, isolation. You have one neighborhood association over here, one over here, one over here, but we need to work together as the North Side in order for us to, to deal with and, call a question to the city about the benign neglect that has been happening here in the North Side for so many decades. We have to be able to come together. It can't just be an isolated place over here and an isolated place over there. Everybody can be a part of this. And also with that too, right now in 2025, membership is free.
Okay, they can join for absolutely free.
Membership is free.
Okay, they can join for absolutely free.
It's absolutely free for 2025.
And unite like never before. Just like you were just saying about this neighborhood association here, this neighborhood association there. But if we all band together, we all have power together, unified power to get things done. So I'm excited about it, man. I just wanted to talk about it this morning. I want to walk people through the process. How often does the organization, or how often will the organization meet?
It meets the last Tuesday of each month.
Okay. So whenever that last Tuesday is at 6 o'clock, and currently the meeting is at 4101 West Florissant, correct?
Yes, for now it is at 4101 West Florissant Avenue, yes.
Every last Tuesday of each month.
Yes, the last Tuesday in March, this month will be the 25th at 6 p.m.
And so anybody that's willing to... Okay, let me ask you this, Chris. Let's say if there's someone that listens to this and hears this, and they're in a community and they may feel like, they don't have much time, or they don't